there. So this is our last video in the Christmas nail series, and I'm going to be doing a Gel X set. So let's just jump right into it. So getting started, I am going to grab this pH bonder from Après and begin dehydrating my natural nails. So if you haven't seen my previous Après full-blown unboxing, you can check that out here. But basically, this dehydrator is going to remove all the oils from your nail plate. I have used other dehydrators and I feel like you could still use those instead and get the same result. So it's really up to you. If you buy the entire Après Gel X system set, this comes in it. So I would get it then, but if you're trying to buy it separately, you can find cheaper alternatives than this, but this is what I have on hand, so I'm going to use it until the bottle runs out. Next up, I'm going to be grabbing my primer and I'm going to apply this to each of the nails as well. So as the primer is drying, I am going to go ahead and start selecting my sizes for my tips. For this video, I am going to be using the sculpted almond long shape from Après. So to size the extensions, what I'm doing is just placing them on top of my natural nail and then making sure they fit from sidewall to sidewall. And what that means is just from right here to right here. So I'm also making sure that when I'm sizing my extensions that they feel comfortable on the nail. Some of these will fit from sidewall to sidewall, but they will feel very tight, and that's without any glue or anything on them. Or when I press down, they pop up automatically. That means they're still too small, so I still go up a size. So I'm just making sure that these feel comfortable and they fit from sidewall to sidewall. And then if I'm in between sizes, I usually go for the bigger one because it's easier for me to file down the sides of the extension than to try to force a smaller tip to fit. So now that I have all my tips sized, I am going to go in with my Gel X prep. I am not going to be using a drill in this video at all. So I'm going to be taking this and I'm going to use it to chemically etch the inside of the extensions. I'm just going to use scrubbing like motions up and down, side to side, so that I can create some texture here, and my glue will then have something to stick to in the next steps. It does not mess up the brush at all when you start to do the scrubby motion, so don't worry about that. So as the primer is drying on the inside of the extensions, I am actually going to move back to my natural nail prep and begin taking this extend gel and then placing it on each of my nails. So I said this in a previous video, but I really do prefer the Après extend gel over anything I have used so far. I really like the thickness of it and the fact that it's not liquidy to the point where it just flows too much and you can still work with it, but it's not super thick either. They do have different versions of extend gel. They have like a sensitive version if you are allergic to HEMA. They also have a thicker version that comes in like a pot, and that's geared to people who are not used to using gel extensions at all. I've only used this one, so I can only speak on my experience with this, and I do prefer it over some of the cheaper alternatives or cheaper dupes that I have used. But if you have any gel that you use to adhere your extensions and you think it's better than the Après extend gel, let me know in the comments down below because I do want to give it a try. I'm just interested to see what else is out there. So since it's very important not to have any gel on your skin, I am just moving my fingers around under my light to make sure that there's no gel on the sides. If you did get gel on your skin, you can see it because it'll be shiny. If it is, just take some acetone and a flat brush and just wipe it away the moment you notice it, just to be safe so that you don't develop any allergies. But of course, the best way to prevent any gel on the skin is just to work on your application and to focus only on the nail plate. So now that I feel like I don't have any gel on the skin, I've done my little triple check, I'm now going to cure in my lamp for 60 seconds. Then after that is up, I'm going to begin the application process. To apply my extensions, I like to start off with a thin layer first because it's always easier to add more extend gel than it is to take it away. So once I have the extend gel on the inside of the tip, I am going to apply these to my natural nails in a 45-degree angle and then pressing down ever so gently. And then once the extend gel flows to the top of my natural nail, I then go underneath my flash cure lamp and then sit there for about 15 seconds. The lamp I like to use for flash curing is this gooseneck lamp, and for me, it is just so convenient because I can move it to whatever position I need it to be in to flash cure, and that is so important when you're doing gel extensions, especially when you're doing them on yourself, because sometimes it's hard to get in a very comfortable position, especially when I'm filming. I look crazy in the positions that I'm sitting here in. So once I have all my extensions attached, I am going to cure again for 60 seconds. The desk lamp that I use to flash cure does not have enough power to fully cure this gel, so you do need to still make sure you're doing a final cure in the appropriate lamp. I'm gonna do just a little bit more shaping and filing, really just making sure the edges look quite natural, and then once I'm done, I am going to dust away all the excess dust that I have everywhere, just taking one of these big fluffy brushes. This is actually not even a nail brush. I got this from Target and it's a big fluffy kabuki makeup brush, and it works really good to grab the dust. Next, we're going to get these extensions all ready for polish, and I'm going to be taking this buffing block to remove the shine from the nail. This to me doesn't take a lot of time, but if you feel like it takes way more time than you want to actually put in, you can actually use that Gel X prep from earlier and then just apply that to each of the nails, and it'll give you a similar result. So it's really up to you and your preferences, honestly. Once that's done, I am going to be taking some 100% acetone and sealing my cuticles. I like to do this method and I feel like it works really well. When doing this though, you want to make sure that you're not putting too much acetone in because you will completely melt the bottom half of the extension. So just start off using a small amount, and then if you want to seal the cuticle a little bit more, then go back in. But also when you're doing this, make sure that you're not just swiping your brush back and forth. Tap a little bit so that the acetone does get in there. Recently, I bought these jelly colors from Amazon. I'm really excited to give them a try. It comes in this 15-piece set. There are 12 different polishes, but then you have a glossy top coat, a matte top coat, and then you also get a base coat in here. So technically it's 15 bottles of gel, but 12 bottles of color. I'm going to be using shade 1301, which is this jelly beigey color, but it has a slight hint of peach in it, and I thought it was really pretty. I'm going to open the bottle so you can see what it looks like, and I'm going to get started by applying just one thin layer of this to each of my nails. Okay, so I can give you my thoughts on this product. I will say I absolutely love this color. I'm going to actually buy the bigger bottle of it. I would say you definitely need at least 3 coats of this. And I say that because with 1 coat, that was not working for me. 2 coats, which is usually how many coats I use of a base color every single time, I could still see my natural nail too much for my liking underneath the polish. So I decided to go in with 3, and that gave me the look that I was going for. It was jelly-like, but it still provided enough coverage where my natural nail wasn't visible up close. So I would recommend 3 coats. Next up, I'm going to be applying some rhinestones, and I'm going to be taking my Macart rhinestone glue and applying this with a dotting tool. So I'm applying the rhinestone glue first so that I can get a visual of where my rhinestones are going to fall and make sure I like the design. On each finger, for the most part, I am putting 3 rhinestones in a zigzag design, except for on the middle finger because my middle finger is so wide. I'm going to be putting 4 rhinestones here, but it's that same zigzag motion, it's just adding an additional stone. So once I get done laying down the rhinestone glue and I realize I like where the rhinestones are going to fall, I'm then going to apply the rhinestones. I am going to be using these rhinestones. I found at Hobby Lobby maybe a year or so ago. I cannot find the SKU for these. I have searched high and low, but I'm actually going to Hobby Lobby later today. So if I find it, I will put it in the description box. But I'm going to be grabbing the red rhinestone and the green rhinestone. And I'm going to be using the smallest size in this kit. And to apply the rhinestone to the nail, I'm going to be using this wax stick. Okay, so what I decided to do was just interchange the colors between red and green, and each nail is going to look a little bit different, but I want to make sure that it's red, green, red, green, red, green, like a pattern, you know? So that's what I'm going to be doing, and I'm just placing these stones where my rhinestone glue already is. And another reason why I like laying down the rhinestone glue first is because I literally will go and change the pattern 15 million times. And this way I know visually where they're supposed to be. And it makes the rhinestone application process so much faster for me because I will be playing with these rhinestones all day if I allow myself to. So here are what the rhinestones are looking like applied. I do have some spots where there's rhinestone glue just kind of sitting there. So before I cure, I'm going to take a flat brush and some 90% alcohol and then clean up the excess glue. Okay, so I've cleaned up the glue and now I'm going to cure in my lamp for about 60 seconds to make sure that the rhinestone glue is nice and fully cured before moving on. I am actually going to be placing caviar beads around each of these rhinestones. So next up, I'm going to be taking these little caviar beads and then placing them where I have already laid down the glue. So as I'm laying these down, I'm just trying to get the caviar bead as close to the rhinestone as I possibly can to give it the appearance of like a bezel. If you've ever looked closely to your jewelry, you can see like it has prongs essentially that holds the stone in place, and that's kind of the illusion that I'm trying to give with this look, even though the prongs are really in a square, but you get the idea. So once you're done with each nail, I do recommend flash curing. And the reason why is because the little caviar beads move the entire time because they're so small. Like all they do is slide up and down the rhinestone glue. I didn't flash cure in between because I was afraid that, like I said earlier, I'd be really indecisive. And I definitely thought I was going to be not pleased with the design. So I didn't flash cure it in place just in case I didn't like it and I could just take the little caviar beads off. But my recommendation is if you are secure in your design and you know exactly what you want, cure the caviar beads as soon as you get done placing them. So here is what the design is looking like right now. I am going to cure this in my lamp for 60 seconds so that everything is sitting in place and does not move anywhere. And then next, I'm going to be taking this top coat that I purchased a little while ago, but I haven't had the chance to use it, so I'm going to use it for the first time. This is the Not Polish Gloss It top coat. I'm applying this to each of the nails, and I'm even going over the caviar beads as well as the rhinestones. I know some people don't necessarily love to top coat their rhinestones, but if I'm using colored stones like this here, I am going to top coat over it because it's not going to affect how shiny the stones look at all. If it was like AB stones, I would reconsider top coating them because it does affect the shine a little bit. But I've used these caviar beads in a design that'll go up next year. And all I did was leave the rhinestone glue on the nail. I did not top coat the caviar beads. And when I tell you they were popping off left and right by me just like hitting my nail on something. So I recommend top coating. So after I have that applied, I am going to go ahead and cure in my big lamp for 60 seconds. And then here is the final look. If you enjoyed this tutorial, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and let me know in the comments down below if you are going to give this look a try. Tag me on Instagram because I would love to see it. And in the meantime, I will be seeing you in this video here.